Okay, so welcome to our team call. I'm going to kick it off here just for people who are catching the recording. Um, Welcome to the Thriving, I still sometimes want to say Fit First, but Thriving Together Sisters team call. It's Summit Week, and I'm so excited. Tonight we are going to be talking all about all things Summit, and I do have some slides, so I'm just going to pull up my Canva here. Um, but I'm really excited about Summit. I was actually sharing with a few friends, but this is literally the first Summit that, in the past few years. Last year I had Josie and she was an infant and we had to bring her and like I was nursing and it's just kind of hard to like fully focus, I feel like, whenever you've got your kids with you. And then we didn't have Summit for like 2 years because of COVID. And then before that, let me just share my screen really quick and then I'll finish my thought because I want to make sure that, okay, is that showing for you guys? Are y'all seeing it in presentation mode? Okay, cool. So um, last year's Josie, 2 years before that, we didn't have it. And then the year before that I was pregnant with Corbin and I was literally due like 4 weeks later or something. So I was like, out of breath everywhere I went. Like I could barely go to the workouts and do anything. So, anyways, I just feel like it's been a while since I've been able to like go to Summit, and I'm coming by myself this time. And so to just be able to come to Summit and really just I'm just really excited about it. I'm excited about using it to like really grow my business. And really just I think I have a different mindset around it going into this one just because I'm not trying to juggle like you know, a baby with me or being pregnant and not feeling my best. So I'm excited to come and just like be fully present. So what we're going to be talking about tonight is making the most of Body Summit 2023. And this is for anybody and everybody. This isn't just for people who are coming to Summit. This is honestly for any of you. I personally know what it's like to join in virtually from just, 2 years of having virtual events. As far as, during COVID, we had leadership was all virtual and Summit was virtual. But if you really do lean into these events, you can still like use them in such an impactful way in your business for your clients, your current coaches, and your new coaches who might be people that are just following you and who are watching along. And so, what we're going to talk about tonight is just making the most of Summit. Again, no matter if you're a participant who comes or you're showing up for the virtual event. Okay, so I've got a few tips tonight that we're going to kind of dive into. I think there's 5 or 6. But the first one is your mindset. So I really do believe that mindset matters. This is not like I think sometimes we forget with things like this, and it can be difficult, especially if you're a mom or, we kind of look at Summit sometimes as a vacation. And truly, Summit is not a vacation. Like, if you've been to Summit, there's a million things going on. Like, if your goal is to go to Summit and relax and get a break from your kids, like, honestly, that's just not the best mindset to have going into it. Same thing for retreats or anything. Like, you really need to go into it thinking this is my work time. And, I know that it's really tempting to like want to sleep and go to bed early and skip sessions and maybe go shopping or whatever. But like, you don't want to leave Summit and think, man, I just spent all this money. All of us have spent a lot of money to get to this event, right? We've spent money on flights, we've spent money on hotels, we're gonna spend money on food when we're there. Like it's a big investment into your business. And so to go home and look back and not see any growth in your business from it would be discouraging, right? And so I think that a lot of the outcome that you're going to have from going to Summit is simply going to be from the mindset you have today about Summit coming up on Thursday. And so you really have to have a mindset of this isn't playtime. This isn't mommy's work time, aka break time from being a mom. This is mommy's time to get away and be fully present in her business for 72 hours and then come back and love the job that she does at home, but just to take a break and be able to fully focus on your business. Obviously, we're going to talk about in a second, it's super important to like be networking with people and meeting people and building community while we're there and showing the community. But I think that you've really got to head into this trip with a positive mindset. Things are not going to go perfectly. I mean, anytime you travel, you know that, right? Like flights are not going to be perfect. Things are not always going to be exactly what you expected. Maybe you really liked the smoothies that they made last year, and this year they have a different recipe. Like, not everything is going to go perfectly. So, you really have to head into Summit with a positive mindset and just be really excited about using this to like re-engage yourself, set some goals in your business, and really show people how incredible this community truly is. So first things first is really just make sure that your mindset is in a good place. I didn't put this, but obviously, like, just ask the Lord to give you like a renewed, refreshed spirit as we head into Thursday. Ask Him to fill you with energy. Maybe you're exhausted. Maybe you coming off sickness. Maybe you're like me and you kind of got allergy stuff going on. And you're like, please don't let this turn into strep throat or something else. But take care of yourself this week. Put together a plan and head into Thursday with a really good mindset. The second one is to make the most of your time. So make sure that sometime this week before Thursday, you sit down and you write out your schedule for Summit. I know for me, I've already written out my schedule. You can put it in your planner, you could put it on your phone. Like I know some people put it all on their phone. Make sure you download the events app, the Summit events app. That way you can see every single thing that's happening. You can even turn on the alerts. Like make sure that you're super organized and prepared. Make sure that you have a notebook for taking notes and all of the sessions. Really make sure that you've got a game plan on what you're doing when so that you can maximize your time at Summit. My number one tip though is to go to as much as you can. Do not skip sessions. It's so tempting to want to do. I'm going to be totally honest. Like there's times when you're exhausted and obviously, I mean, if you're coming with a newborn baby or something like that, like there's certain seasons where like you may have to, but the best that you can do, try to be at everything. Sorry guys, water. Really try not to skip things. Mainly because of a few things. Your energy and the way that you show up is encouragement to other people. So if other people see you skipping things, like that plays into your coaches showing up. So if you've got coaches with you and you want your coaches to be excited about coming to Summit, you need to be like extra excited about coming to Summit because your energy is going to like make their experience as well. Does this make sense? So if you're like kind of negative about going to sessions or you're thinking about skipping them, it's going to kind of make them think, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't go. Maybe it'll be a waste of my time. The whole reason we are going to Summit is obviously we want to all be together. We want to all see each other. We want to all meet in person, but we want to experience the most of Summit. We want to learn from people. We want to build connections. We want to make the most of our time there. So go to everything. Don't skip things. Number one is my first tip. Number two, take tons of videos for now and later. In the moment, you might feel like, I just want to shut off the world. I want to just be fully present. I want to be fully here. And I'm all for that when you're on a family vacation. But again, guys, this is a work trip. And we want to be showing people how amazing this community is. So it doesn't mean that you need to be in a session and you need to be making videos the whole time and typing out Instagram posts, right? Make your video, put your phone in your purse, and make videos throughout the day, put your phone in your purse. And when you have time, when you go back to your room and you take a little rest time, or you go back to your room that night, just post all your videos then. That's literally what I do almost every day. I make little videos, and then during nap time I post, and then when the kids go to bed I post. And that's why a lot of times you're seeing my 5 a.m. post at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, or even sometimes not till bedtime. You don't have to post in real time, but make tons of videos. I promise you guys, you will not regret it. Just today, I was going through like Google Photos because I offload everything from my phone onto Google Photos. And I was re-downloading like all of our beach videos and stuff like that because I never used them for reels. I just like, we came back and life was kind of crazy and I never sat down and used those. But it's so nice today to be like, all right, I need to plan some content for the week. And I've got all these amazing videos that I can pull from. You will not regret bringing your tripod, setting it up, getting some just some B-roll of all of us together at dinner or all of us together working out with, whoever you're working out with. For me, I'm working out with Amwala. You better believe I'm about to videotape so much of that because we've got our new program coming out next month, and I can be like, oh my goodness, I got turned out with Amwala, and I may not use any of those videos for 2 to 3 weeks from now, but having those videos, you will never regret. I think most people get home from Summit and think, man, I wish I had more like natural looking photos instead of just all of us like smiling. Like those photos are cute, but you know what I'm saying? Like you want to have some B-roll kind of photos. And so just take tons of videos is my point. Like even if you feel like a weirdo, you're never going to see probably anybody that lives in San Antonio again. And so if there's random people walking on the sidewalk, who cares? Second of all, 90% of the people downtown are going to be Beachbody coaches or body partners. And so they're all going to be doing the same thing. So don't get weird about it. Just take tons of videos and save them because they really are so incredible to use. Use your blank space in the day to do action hours, to network, and to meet others. Guys, I cannot stress this enough. I have met so many incredible people at these events. And this is, when we talk about our team shining, guys, this is it. This is like the Super Bowl of us being able to shine the light of Jesus and the joy of Jesus and talk about our team and talk about what God's doing. Like, this is it. You know what I mean? And so use this time to meet the girl that's beside you. The number one thing that you will see, and every time I'm at Summit, I'm so burdened with this, or any Beachbody event, is you're going to hear people get up and share their story. And they're going to share how they were on the verge of, you know, doing something terrible to themselves or making this decision, and they decided to become a Beachbody coach and it changed their life. And you're going to literally feel in the pit of your stomach, if only you knew Jesus. Like, you think this is great, but if only you knew Jesus. And you get to build relationships with people like that. You get to build relationships with people sitting next to you who literally, like, their idea of a Christian might be like someone who shoves Jesus down your throat and holds up a sign in the middle of the sidewalk, right? And says that you're going to hell. And so you get to be the light of Jesus to those people. And so just build relationships. Like, be kind, be loving, like, focus on building community. Again, this is a chance for us to shine. And so those are like my 3 tips that I think are so important is like make the most out of your time, go to everything, smile, have fun, take tons of videos, like use that blank space to jump in together and say, hey guys, let's do an action hour. A lot of us struggle with what we're sending as invites and what we're doing here and what we're doing there. This is our chance to be shoulder to shoulder and like do these things together. The third thing is brains up at the end of each day. I actually learned this tip a long time ago at one of the She Works This Way conferences. And Michelle said that every time she goes to a conference, she goes back to the room and she just does a massive brain dump. I actually hate saying brain dump, but I can't ever think of a better way to say it. Brian's like, that's not very ladylike. And I'm like, okay, well, you come up with something better. But go back to your room and just do a massive like brain dump of everything that you learned and everything that you want to implement. Um, and then make a list of what you want to go back home and like prioritize it. Does it make sense? So if you go to, 2 or 3 sessions that day and you go back to your room and you just look through your notes and make a little to-do list. In the moment, it might feel like the last thing you want to do because you're ready to go to bed and you need to post on socials and you need to do all this stuff. But I'm telling you, if in real time, while it's fresh on your brain, you make a list and you just say top 3 that you want to do, and then at the end of the weekend, you can prioritize your list and set due dates for yourself. You can say, okay, these are the things that I really want to do. In 30 days, I want to be here with it. In 60 days, I want to be here with it. In 90 days, I want to be here with it. So just making a game plan for all of the information you're taking in. Number 4. So guys, this one's really important, and this is the one that you're probably going to be leaning towards not doing because you're going to get so busy. Post a daily recap in a day or a daily reel, something that recaps what all you learned that day. I have personally been finding that the story this like story framework for Instagram posts is amazing. It's where it's at personally for me. So you start with a hook to grab your audience's attention. You tell a story that connects with your audience emotionally and personally. You offer value or insight that is relevant and useful to your audience. You have a relatable to the R, which is relatable to your audience by being authentic and vulnerable. And the Y is you are the star of the story to showcase your unique personality and perspective. So I've been using this framework to write my social media posts. And truly, you're better off to do 2 to 3 posts a week using this framework than to try to post every single day and not. And it's still taking me some time to get used to it. So I'm not saying you don't go look at my social media and be like, well, she didn't do it here and she didn't do it here, because it's still taking me some time to figure out. It definitely takes a little bit longer. But this is just like an idea for how you could kind of recap what's happening. And again, you can do this like if you're at home and you're not at Summit, but you could do a post where you talk about maybe an announcement of a new program or product that we're going to come out with, or something that you heard Carl say in the opening session, and you could say in the Instagram post like, in our opening session today. Can you guys hear me? Am I still good? Okay, sorry. It said my internet was unstable, so I just want to make sure. Um, but you could share like a quote that Carl says, or he will throw statistics in there. Like he'll throw tons of statistics in there about the obesity rates or the, health esteem or whatever. Use that information. Those things like special statistics, like that's you like coming as a, hey, I know what I'm talking about. Like this isn't just me saying my opinion, and tying it back and connecting with your audience. So whatever that looks like, figure out a way that you can maybe do a day in the life reel. Like maybe you just do a bunch of little videos from that day and you just kind of recap it there. But literally Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, well, not Sunday because I guess we're done that day, but Thursday, Friday, Saturday, those 3 days, go back and do some sort of post. It could be a static post with a few pictures, but somehow recap what has happened that day. Um, Another thing too to make sure that you're doing is using the weekend to grow your business and community. So figure out a way that you can also share your takeaways from each day. So here's a few ideas that I wanted to share that I'm personally going to be doing. And again, if you're not going to Summit, you should still be doing this. Like if you're really serious about growing your business, you should still be doing this. And you can start working on it right now. So one idea, and this is something I'm personally going to do, is you can have a flow desk form where you tell people, hey, if you want to hear about all the cool things that are going to be happening at Summit, the new announcements, kind of see what I'm doing, what my team's up to, opt in here and I'll shoot you a daily email to kind of recap the weekend. And so basically what you could do is you could have a daily email that goes out to them that you go ahead and pre-write right now. So it really will just be like 3 emails, and then you might want to do an email on Sunday that kind of recaps all of summer weekend. So the first one, you already know what you're going to be doing on Thursday, right? So you could go ahead and pre-write these. And honestly, too, even with the captions on your reels, go ahead and pre-write those, because a lot of us know like we're going to be super busy at Summit. We're going to be wanting to go to things. Go ahead and pre-write it. You already know that Thursday you're going to be working out with Amwala, or that's what I'm doing. So I'm sharing what I'm doing. I'm going to be working out with Amwala. I'm going to be going to the welcome. I'm going to be meeting up with a bunch of my girls. I'm going to be checking in at registration. I've been to Summit before, so I know what that feels like, right? Like I know exactly what it's going to feel like to be with everybody. So I can go ahead and pre-write these emails, and then on Thursday evening when I get back to the room, I'll just pull a bunch of the pictures, plug them into the email, add in some things that maybe happened that I didn't know was going to happen, and press send. And go ahead and have these emails pre-written. And then on the last day, that's Sunday, you're then inviting them to join your coach sneak peek. So that's an idea. And the cool thing then is that you have their emails. So if you ever want to send them emails about coach stuff in the future, you want to send them a follow-up email about Summit, or, not Summit, sneak peeks, you've got their email and now you can contact them. So I really like the daily email thing. I actually got that idea from Melanie Mitro. Melanie did a little podcast that I listened to today on Chic Influencer, just about preparing for company's like big event each year. But I think that's a really good one to do. um, Obviously, too, like we talked about, you could also do these. I mean, all this information, I personally would be doing it in an Instagram post with a reel, and then also still be doing that email because that's going to kind of deeper dive, right? And it's going to have that call to action to join you at the bottom. I'll say this really quick too, not to keep going back and forth, but it kind of does like lead into each other. With your posts and your daily recaps or reels, make sure that you are posting on stories. But I do think that posting on your feed is good too, and telling people, hey, go check my stories because I'll be posting a lot there. One idea Melanie Mitchell had, and I've been seeing a lot of people doing this, is like the whole outfit idea where you have them vote on your outfit, and what you're going to wear, if that's your thing. If your followers aren't into that, then like, but if yours is like, you could make yours like, if you're not, like, I'm personally not planning on getting super fancy at this thing because I'm not like on stage or anything like that. So for me, maybe it's like showing my different workout outfits. I'm just throwing that out there. One thing I was personally going to do is I do this already is I have my like I do a Newly recap every month of what I got in my Newly for the month, and people really like it. So I was thinking that what I'm going to do is do that because I just got a new box in. So tomorrow I'm going to film that and post that and then have them vote. I'll say, hey, go check my stories to vote on which one I should wear to like our team dinner or something like that. You know what I mean? They're not fancy dresses. They're like dresses I would wear to church. So those types of things though get them to start thinking now, oh, she's going to a work event later this week. She's at a conference. And so that's like an easy way that you can start to get them to engage on your post. So I thought that was a good idea. Um, I know that Young Living just got back from like their kind of like they had like some kind of trip, kind of similar, I think, to the Success Club trip maybe. But they just got back from it, and I follow like a couple of different people who are Young Living people. And I mean, I personally was checking their stories because I was like, oh, I wonder what they did today. So I really do think people really look at your stories when you're traveling, especially to events like this. So use this time to make sure that you are sharing because people are going to be looking. And even for me, when there's been events I couldn't go to, like with leadership or things like that, like I was checking people's stories because I wanted to see what was happening, you know? And some people just go quiet when they're at events because they're so busy. But y'all, you need to be showing up. So again, film things and then go back to the room and post them. The other idea is, and I'm actually going to do this for our team, but I'm just going to use our Coach Sneak Peek Facebook page, and I was going to change the banner and change the name of it. I'm going to do that tonight, actually, after this, but just call it like a Thriving Together Sisters Take Summit or something, or Behind the Scenes Summit. So I'll be posting in there just, and I'll probably ask some of you guys to post, like, hey, will you post a recap of what all, we learned about today? I'll also be posting, just as an FYI, I'll be posting all the like announcements from Summit in our team page as well. I'll probably just do an end of the day recap. Like I'll literally post it in the sneak peek, post it in the team page. But I'll just kind of make sure I'm hitting all four every night. But you can add your people there if you'd prefer to do that. If you're like, hey, it'd just be easier if I just add my people to this Facebook group. I personally want to do the daily email only because I think it's good to have a personal touch for them to hear from me. Because you don't want to always add your people to everything we like do as a team, and they only see everything from Caroline or everything from Ashley, and they're like, who is Ashley and who is Caroline? Whenever I'm like underneath of Angelina, who's underneath of Lauren. You know what I mean? Like they may not know who those people are. So it's just really good to always have that personal touch. So that's personally why I'm going to do that. And I'm going to go ahead and pre-write my email so they're just ready to go. Um, you could always do a message thread on Instagram if you'd rather just real time be able to send. Like you could even do close friends. You could say, hey, I'm going to Summit this weekend. If you want to be added to my close friends list, swipe here and I'll add you. And you could just share stuff from Summit to your close friends on Instagram stories if you wanted to. That's just another idea that makes them kind of feel special. It makes them feel like they got something exclusive. Or you could even do like a message thread. So these are just some ideas. You could always do a group me message, whatever is easiest for you. I think the point though is that somehow, some way you've got those people kind of like who they are. so you can check in with them and you can follow up, and they feel like they're getting kind of that exclusive content from you about the weekend. Um, but I really just think it's so important, guys. I just want to recap it all again, but that we head into this weekend with just a mindset of like, I am here to learn, I'm here to grow, I'm here to use this to grow my business. And even if I know it's so hard to virtually jump on this stuff because you're like, it's right during dinner time and your family's here and all this, but even if you can just hop on for 5 minutes and get a little glimpse of it and share that on your stories and you know what I mean? Like check in every night to see, oh, what did Caroline post of the new products that are coming? Share that on your stories, say on your stories, hey, we're having our company, conferences this weekend. I'm going to be sharing it about it. I couldn't go because of XYZ, but like I'm going to be there next year. And just share those things. But your mindset truly matters. Make the most out of it. Don't skip out on things. Don't decide as a group that you're going to go to the pool and not go to your sessions. Like, truly, there are people who do that. But we spent so much money on this event, like use it to motivate you, to encourage you. And also like one thing I always think about, and I think about this with team calls too, people take time putting these PowerPoints together. These coaches who are going to be presenting in these sessions, they have literally been practicing for weeks. Like I know that a lot of them have not worked on their own business in like 2 weeks. Like I talked to Courtney Dunker and she's like literally this whole week, all I've done is practice. Like I haven't done anything else. So they have literally sacrificed their work time to be able to practice, to be prepared for this. They have to be there early. They have to be there on Tuesday in order to like check mics and practice and all this kind of stuff. So they take a ton of time. So also, I think it's a respect thing too. It's like, let's respect them enough to show up and be the people who show up, you know? And I know it can feel like, well, it doesn't really matter because there's a ton of people, but it does. And so just being there, taking notes, I always think about that with my pastor too. Like, I want him to look out and see me engaged and feel encouraged by the fact that I'm engaged, you know? Take tons of videos, take tons of pictures, use the blank space, get to know people, engage with people. You never know. You might meet a girl who's like, hey, will you speak on my team call? Guess what happens when you speak on someone's team call? Your circle of influence just grew. Always think about how can I grow my circle of influence? And how can I meet new people? And maybe they end up being like a 5-star diamond and they might be able to share with you how they got there and tips that you've never thought about. Brain dump at the end of every day. Figure out your takeaways. Remember to post, 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 post. Use this to grow your business and grow your community because it really, truly can be a game changer anytime that we all get together. And if you're not coming, you can still do all of these things. I wanted to share these are all the things that are going to be virtual. So if you want to screenshot this, you can. The Thursday night opening session is going to be virtual. They will be sending the link out on the 21st, which is Wednesday. So you can check the FAQ for the link to the virtual event, or you can check the back office. So if you're not coming, jump on. Thursday's opening session. Then Friday, Carl's product announcements. He's got a bunch of new product announcements. So if you want to just hear the product announcements, this is a good one. It's at 9:30 in the morning, so it's totally doable. Saturday is Carl's closing session. And then on Saturday night is the Saturday celebration. Honestly, if you're going to jump on any of them, I would say Carl's stuff is going to be the most important, like the product announcements and the closing session. The celebration is just going to be people walking across stage. Like, that's cool, but if you really want to hop on and be able to share things of like new products and things that's happening at Beachbody and just get insight, I think I'll be honest, I didn't really, up until probably like 3 or 4 years ago, I didn't take seriously understanding who Carl was or like really caring, to be honest. But like, he is our CEO and he leads the direction that this company is going. And so, if you're serious about this business, when you start to get serious about this business, like when you go to leadership and things, people are very serious about what Carl has to say. And they also are very willing to push back on what Carl has to say. And so, I think it's really important that we are engaging and knowing what's happening and staying in the loop on those sorts of things. So I really encourage you guys to be on. That is all I have. I would love to take any questions. That wasn't as long of a call. I'm super excited. I've done it virtually as well. Yes. Will it be all be on the same link? Yes. So I was reading the FAQ earlier. Let me just see if I can drop it in the chat box for you. I was reading up on the FAQ earlier, and it said that I think it was in this one. It might have been in a different one that I was looking at. Um, Let me see. Summit virtual. Uh, let's see. I think it's all going to be at the same link though. Let's see. Live stream details. So, yes, sessions will be available for playback through Tuesday. Viewing links will be posted on the FAQ on Wednesday. So I'll just drop this FAQ and you can just go to that FAQ and it will be updated.
Thanks, girl. I just wasn't sure where to find it.
Yeah,
Because I
you're
know
good.
last
I
year I
know.
was there, but I never did it virtual before.
Yes. No. They usually will post it in the back office too, I think. Um, Ashley, have you ever been to Summit? Oh my goodness, what?
Because the one year I was gonna go, guess what? I got pregnant and I was literally, I think I had Summit was like the 11th of July, and I had Nora on the 11th of July.
Oh my goodness. Well,
That
good
was
thing you weren't at Summit.
going to Summit. And then after that, COVID hit. So then, yeah. And then last year, I took a
Yeah.
break. So haven't been. And I was gonna
Well,
go this
next year,
until I found out when Joel's shooting schedule was, and I was like, so
I know. Well, next year we probably won't have a team retreat. We'll probably just do Summit.
I'm just buying
Um,
a ticket right out the gate, like as soon as it
yeah,
launches.
the game plan for next year, and just to let everybody know, I'll announce it right after Summit. We're going to do a diamond retreat in the first of the year. So it'll be everyone who gets to diamond by December will be invited. So we'll do like a diamond retreat in probably like February or March. And then we'll just have Summit as like our big team retreat will be the plan. My goal is like 40 girls next year. I'm
I
legit
honestly,
like, we can do it.
well, the tickets are cheaper, right? Whenever they announce it, anyways, Ashley. So that's the cheapest you'll get a ticket. Is like the first. So they'll announce it. They announced it last year on Saturday night, wasn't it? At the celebration.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
And then you can just buy your ticket. And last year we did Airbnb, which I love doing, and I think it does make it a lot cheaper, especially if you're going to make it kind of like, if we're not going to have a retreat, I would like to do that just because you get more time together. But I am excited this year about like being able to walk across the street, just because it is kind of a pain when you don't have enough cars, and then certain people get stuck driving everywhere. It's like, it's just hard because it's just, I don't know, it's just difficult because it's like you're not close to walk.
We don't know yet
So,
when next year, like where next year's summit is, do we? That will be
mm-mm.
announced.
Yeah. And it stinks because like some towns have a lot of Airbnbs downtown, but a lot of them it's just like hotels, and it is a lot more expensive. So, although I really don't know, I feel like it was only like in the grand scheme of things, I think it really only cost like $100 more to stay in a hotel, which by the time you pay for Ubers, if you had an Uber from like, because I think that me and Shay and Ashton are splitting a hotel room, and I think it was like 270 a person, which really wasn't that bad. Because most Airbnbs are probably going to be like 170 or something like that, I would think. So I guess it just depends on the city too. I don't know,
Ashley,
y'all, but
be
it's about to be as hot as Hades down there.
yeah, and Ashley, be on the lookout Saturday because that's when Saturday night is when they'll announce it, and then I'm sure that the group chat will like blow up.
Well,
Oh yeah,
I usually, I hop on all of them. I've done it for years. I love watching them. I love hearing all the announcements. I get so excited.
I
I
know.
geek out about it all. I'm like, there's a new program. Like, yeah. So I'm excited about it. I will cheer you all on from Virginia.
I love it. I'm pumped. Well, any other questions? I will say too, just because it's on my brain, for the dinner on Friday night, TBD on where it's going to be. Because like making a reservation, okay, literally like today, this one restaurant emailed me and they were like, "Oh, yeah, you could definitely get a table for 16 people. It'll be $200 and each of your guests will have to order a minimum of $50 a person." And I was like, "No." And the $200 doesn't even go towards anything. It's just a table fee. And literally, this restaurant, I looked at their menu. It was like a normal $15 kind of restaurant. Like, it wasn't like super fancy, you know? And I'm like having so much trouble. Like, I made a reservation in one place, but I'm going to cancel it because it's like a little bit pricey. And I was just trying to get a table somewhere just in case. But I was like, Carolyn, why don't y'all just find like a fast casual place and be like, hey, we're going to eat here. Just everybody come at this time and like we'll grab tables. So that's probably what we're gonna do because I'm just like, all these places are so expensive, and I'm not spending $200 on a table. So anyway, so I'll probably just let you guys know, like once I get there and I can see like what's around that we could like potentially grab some tables or whatever. So I just wanted to share that was on my brain. Chick-fil-A picnic, yes, exactly. Awesome. Well, if nobody has any other questions, I think that's everything. Let me pray for y'all and yeah, just reach out if you need anything this week in preparation. Heavenly Father, God, thank you so much for these women and thank you so much for just bringing us together tonight, God. I just want to pray over each of them, Lord, the ladies who are coming to Summit this week, the ladies who aren't able to make it, but God, I just pray that you would get each and every one of us there safely, God. I just want to pray for your hand of protection just be in and over us, God. Lord, over our families as we're leaving them home, and Lord, that you would just protect them and keep them safe. God, I pray that you would just be with our time that we're away, God. Would it be just refreshing? Would it be motivating? Would it be just what we need, Lord, just to come back home and be fired up about what you're doing and how you're using us, God? Lord, I just pray that you would just guide each of our conversations, every person that we meet. Lord, we just be a smiling face that is just filled with your light and your joy, God. Lord, I just pray that you would bless our time together and use it for your glory, God. Be with these women this week. I pray that you would just give them just fresh joy, fresh motivation. It's in your name we pray. Amen. All right, y'all. Have an amazing week, and I'll see a lot of y'all on Thursday. Bye, everybody.